All right, here we go. Another post-game show where we're not happy for Cowboy fans. Just a little disappointed that it had to come down to that. But let me tell you guys, when you make that many mistakes out there on the field, you can overcome a few of them and keep pace with the game and maybe put yourself in a position later in the game to overcome those mistakes, the penalties and things of that nature. But you got to play a flawless game from that on when you decide to put those mistakes behind you. And so you can't continue to make them, and we continue to make them, kept giving Seattle opportunities. And, what killed us was, the pass interferences and those penalties. So we still had a chance at the end. Dak did a nice job of spinning away from that pass rush to stay upright. What he should have done, he had more time, either throw the ball away and let's run another play to stop the clock stopped, or, when everybody's clustered like that, you point to the cluster, but somebody reads it differently, and you break away from the cluster of players. It's kind of what I did in 1980 against the Atlanta Falcons. We needed 2 touchdowns in the final 4 minutes to win that game. On the first touchdown, Danny White scrambling to his right, and everybody's right there around me, and he pointed to the left, and the whole defense guys took off to the left, and I stayed there, and bam, he hit me with the touchdown, and one of the 2 touchdowns we needed to get back in the game. So anyway, those are kind of things they'll go over and discuss and deal with as they get ready for the next game. Who they got next? It's not that easy. They got Cleveland, who beat the Redskins today. So they got Cleveland coming up next, and that will be a home game, and that's a noon kickoff. When Cleveland comes to town, you're lucky it's a kickoff period. Nobody wants to see Cleveland, but we'll see them. Anybody, what do you think about the game? Looks like you're up first, Jen.
Well, I felt like I was having a heart attack the entire last half. So, that Cedric Wilson, he's actually, he came to the plate, and so did Michael Gallup. So it's kind of, I had hopes. It seemed like they were going to come back and take it, but I guess, you always get what you wish for. But.
Jen, sometimes you dig that hole so deep, you keep clawing, and you can't grasp that top. But they kept fighting. They played hard, but they just couldn't get over the mistakes, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So anyway, that's another one we chuck off. I mean, think about last week. If we lose that game, we'd be 0-3 right now, and that wouldn't be good. So we're still 1-2. The blessing is listen to the radio with Brad Sham, because when you listen to the radio, they call the play way before it gets to TV, so you kind of can hear what he's saying, find out what the result of the play. Then you go to the TV and you watch it. And so, but anyway, he said the blessing to this loss today is the fact that the Eagles tied, the Redskins lost, and the Giants lost. So that makes us 1-2. Washington will be 1-2, and we're tied up with them for first place because the Giants are 0-3, and Philly is 0-2-1. So Philly still hasn't won a game. And what about a tie? Oh my God! You play your hearts out, you even go to overtime, and you end up with a tie. That's what Philly did today, and they did that with Cincinnati. So anyway, all right. Who else got something to say about the game? Who's up? Hood?
I thought the Cowboys stayed in it. I thought the Cowboys kept it competitive, and they were never completely out of the game. They kind of clawed their way back into it and stayed at it. and kept it an interesting game. You know, it was a competition. I think everyone was probably locked into the game to the last play.
Yeah, we had a AD.
Yes, sir.
We had a lot of guys, you know, play pretty well, but it's again it's penalties. Let me see how many we ended up with in this game. And you know, it's sometimes not just the penalties; it's when they occur. We were 7 for 15 in third down. You know, we'll take that anytime. They were 5 for 13, but the penalties kept them on the field. We had 10 penalties for 50.
Yeah.
And they had 5 for 30.
Yeah. A Russell Wilson led team is going to be hard to beat.
Let's see the time of possession. We talked about this before the game, how important that was. They were at 26. So, you know, 5 more minutes or so. They're one. The 2 interceptions, of course, the one at the end.
Yeah.
It looks like Drew's having some internet issues right now, but you know, one of the questions are going to be back now on Dak Prescott. I guess he's what, 2 and 10 now in the last 1 possession games. So definitely going to be a lot of issues with that. Hasn't really shown the ability to come through in the clutch.
He's 1 and 7 now against playoff teams going back last year. 1 and 7. I mean, all the stats he has, I hate to say it, he's a statistical fluffer. All the big stats he has comes in the 7 and 2 non-playoff teams he plays against. You take those out, and he's not ready to make that next jump for that playmaker money he's asking for. You know, wish he was, but he's not. He's not reading the field. He's taking these high risk, high degree of difficulty passes and not seeing the easier points that's available. It's frustrating.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't think you know what you're talking about, unfortunately.
Gerald,
I don't know what high risk plays you're talking about. The key plays in the game we hit were bombs, you know, deep downfield. There were drops in the play. Cedric Wilson comes in the game. He hits him in stride and all that. I don't know how to start my video. There you go.
there you go.
But anyway, you always want to blame Dak. You know, you got defensive backs holding receivers. You know, you got no running game in the game. You have 461 yards. You know, I'm not blaming the quarterback. Okay. Here's enough blame when you play like this for everybody. It goes around.
Including the kicker.
Including the kicker. Greg the leg.
Yeah.
Zerline. But anyway, I hear where you're coming from, the frustration and stuff. We held them to under 300 yards at 295, but it was the penalties that killed us. You know, they were 5 for 13 on third down, and it was the penalties. And, you know, Russell Wilson, we couldn't contain him when we needed. But, you know, we're not getting any pass rush from anybody but number 58, Aldon Smith. I think he should have been credited with 3.5 sacks. I know he had 3.
He showed up.
They credited him with 3 sacks. And your boy, Armstrong, DeMarcus Lawrence, excuse me, he had 2 tackles in the game, no sacks. The only sacks we got were from Woods and Antoine Smith. So, you know, we weren't getting to Wilson. And he's a percentage pass. He's 27 for 40, 315. And we sacked him 4 times for 20. We got sacked. The offensive line, you got to give them some credit because they were makeshift. Did you notice what they did? In the second half, they moved everybody to the right and brought in the center and moved Looney to guard and Zach Martin to right tackle. And they still were pretty much holding their own. But dang, I just hate them to lose that game. You know, when you're a player and you're playing and you see a coach like Pete Carroll on the sideline, you know, going crazy and always pumping his fist and walking up and down and chewing the gum, man, you want to shut that guy up. You want to make some plays to shut that guy up. George Allen was like that. You wanted to shut him up. He's on the sideline licking his thumb. And, you know, in that Thanksgiving Day game where I caught the ball from Clint Longley to win the game, I'm lined up there. I could hear George Allen. I'm lined up wide to that side. Yeah, Dallas Cowboys, Tex Ram. Yeah, we got you this Sunday. Yeah, Dallas Cowboys. Hut one, hut two. Touchdown, Dallas. I went right by the bench, and I looked at him. You couldn't see that on TV. But anyway, we needed to play like that. But we can't live by trying to get a Hail Mary every time we play. We won that game last week via a sort of a Hail Mary, a different kind of Hail Mary. But we needed that to win it. And we're trying to find one again today and just wasn't there. Right, D. Paul?
They were in it right to the last second, though, right to the last play. So,
yeah.
I thought it was a good competitive game.
It sure was. And then let's look at the injury report and then look at the rest of the division and start getting ready for Cleveland. Yeah. But this is a long plane ride back. You know, I used to hate playing in Seattle or San Francisco. Longest flights ever. And, you know, after you lose a game, it seems like that flight going to take forever.
Yeah.
But hopefully the players will have a chance to reflect on their performance, have some discussion with the coach. Al Harris, the defensive back coach, needs to get with the DBs and talk about it. Maybe even watch the film, the tape, the video of the game on the way back home, you know, since it's such a long flight.
Right.
And I know for a player, you know, you're tired after a game, no doubt, but you can't go to sleep, okay? You know, you're not tired like that. You're exhausted from your energy zap, not that you're tired because you know, want to take a nap or something. So anyway, they might watch the films on the plane home and hopefully that will get them a better understanding what they need to do.
Drew, do you think the coach is watching those? Do you think that the coach is watching those tapes to see? It seems like he's missing something here. He's a great coach. He's a proven great coach, but something's not quite right here, right?
Yeah, there's something missing, especially when your DBs. Now, they're not the most talented guys, you know, but they're good athletes. And, you know, you see them come up. They're making plays. They're playing hard. There's no question. But, you know, it's not just about playing hard. You got to play smart, too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if the ref's looking at you and you had three pass interferences called before you have your fourth, you got to know they're watching you. And so you can't be doing those kind of things. But, you know, and then I don't know if they were blown coverages or what, because a lot of times the Seattle guys were left wide open. They kept running that play to the tight end down by the goal line when they're trying to get 2 points or get a touchdown from the 1 yard line. And, you know, first one went to the tight end, went to Greg Olsen, and the next one went to the other guy, 82, I believe it was. And so, you know, I mean, you should expect something like that. You know, you got burned with it the first time. Here they come with it. All they did was change their personnel, give you a different look with the same play. And so they couldn't pick that up and, you know, scored the touchdown. So anyway, 38-31. Any other comments, Paulie? How'd the cheerleaders look? No, they never showed that. I don't know if you guys know, but we used to check them out in pregame warm-up. And
not?
The Philadelphia Eagles, believe it or not, had the best. Believe it or not. Anyway, that's a sidebar. You get only on Drew Pearson Live.
So what needs to change next game, Drew, for the Cowboys to
quit making mistakes, cover up, you know. Don't be latching on to these receivers when they're going to run downfield, trying to run by you. Get on the horse and catch up to them and try to stay with them the best you can. I know it's tough when you put these guys out there man-to-man, especially when they're running man-to-man from a slot position, and that receiver has the whole field to work with. He can set you up like he's going in because he wants to go out. He can set you up going out because he wants to go in. He can come at you straight head up, and now you don't know which way he's going to go. So there's so many things that the receivers can do when they're in that man-to-man coverage, and maybe we need to come out of that a little bit, you know. And I know you're attacking type defense, and if you're going to play that attacking type defense, you got to have some man coverage in the secondary. But maybe next game, guys, maybe we should switch that up, give a different look back there. Looks like Seattle, with all their problems in their secondary, getting lit up in their first 2 games. Looks like they decided to change their philosophy and went to zone defenses. And we were playing a 2 deep zone. And we didn't take advantage of that. In that drive, the final drive, we did all those short passes because they were available, because they're playing so deep. But when they're playing a 2 deep zone in a prevent defense, you get past that first cornerback, you get up on the safety, and you break it to the sideline. When you break it inside, you know, you got 20 yards downfield. We didn't take those kind of shots till, you know, it got desperation time. So just look at the film, look at your mistakes, get to practice, get to work, and know that you got a lot of work to do. We could easily be 0-3, but we're blessed to be 1-2 because the rest of the division is sorry. All right. We can't wait to play some of those guys. Amen. Anything else, guys?
Well, it's very disappointing. Obviously, we were so close. You know, we actually felt it. We're over here at the Virgin Hotel, which shout out to Bill Hutchison and Bob Sassani for having us. And the crowd over there is so upset. By the way, they're big Drew Pearson fans, and they were so excited. They said, "Is he coming here?" And I said, "Well, hold on. You got to keep him healthy for right now." But
yeah. What are they doing there, Paul? Are they social distancing? Are they doing it the right way, wearing their mask and stuff?
They are. It's very rare that you actually have. It's very rare that you have people that are going outside the rules right now. I mean, basically, we're in a society right now that it's, you know, no shirt, no shoes, no service before, right? And now it's no mask. You just have to assume it like that. And if you don't have it, you have to be fine with going back to the car and getting it. It's fine. But here, they're actually really careful. So the rules are, when you're going out in a place, is that you wear the mask unless you're eating or drinking. And that's it. So if you feel comfortable with that, then that's okay.
Yeah, well, as long as, you know, that's the rule, everybody follows the rule, we got it covered. But, you know, every time there's somebody in there trying to act a fool and not want to follow the rules. And therefore, you know, you have a problem. But anyway, tell everybody over at the Virgin, ate from the original 88. And maybe one of these days when things clear up a little bit, excuse me, I'll get over there.
That's right. Well, they're looking forward to it. They're very excited to see you here.
All right, Paul, you got anybody lined up for next week?
Oh, we do. We've got a whole bunch of people. And you know what's great is everybody's sitting at home, they're on Zoom, and they're happy to talk to us because now the rounds have been making about the Hail Mary moments. And a lot of people want to tell their story about their Hail Mary moments. You know, it's greatest moment when your back's up against the wall and there's nothing left to do and you just go for it. And we have so many people that are coming on about us. So we've got The Star of the Boys, which is on Amazon right now. It's one of the top shows. And then we have some of the greatest Grammy winners, Oscar winners, Tony winners coming to join us. But also, as we do every week, a good sports guest, and usually a former Cowboy. And it was great to have Corey Proctor here too. I want
to thank Corey for being part of the show, and did a great job. I'd like to have him back on for sure. He looks good for a guy in retirement and chilling, and probably more money in his short career or the years that he played. About, let's say, I think 4 with Dallas, maybe about 6-7 years. But you know, that's the way it was back then. You make enough where you can, when you do retire, you have enough to retire on. you can kick back and pretty much decide later what you want to do.
That's right. You know what you shocked Corey and Colombo with was your signing bonus. Everyone thinks that's a joke when you say that, but how much was it?
$150. 150.
Cha-ching.
The Dallas Cowboys. And I tell a joke that they paid me in cash, but they really didn't. They gave me a check for $150, and they didn't even take tax out, so I had to eventually pay that on the
$150 signing bonus. That's terrible.
Yeah, well, I didn't negotiate. Okay, I pulled out for $200 or $175. I said, "You pay me that money right now. Give me that check now. I'm out of here, and I'll see you at practice." But no, it wasn't about the money. It's about the Cowboys. 4 years at Tulsa, 2 years as a quarterback, 2 years as a receiver, and then not getting drafted. Very disappointed. But then you go to the Cowboys and you make the team. You make the traveling squad every game because you're covering kicks on kickoffs. You're returning punts. You're returning kickoffs, doing all the things to stay relevant to Coach Landry, to be part of the traveling team, to suit up for every game. And then, you have two guys ahead of you in consecutive weekends. They get hurt. And so you're the next man up, and you step in first game, catch one pass, come back on Thanksgiving, catch 8 against Miami, and then finish the season against the St. Louis Cardinals in Busch Stadium. Scored my first 2 NFL touchdowns, finished with 5 for 145 in that game. And then you play your first playoff game. And you say, how do you get that good that short period of time? Well, all of a sudden you're with Tom Landry. Your quarterback's a Hall of Famer, Roger Staubach. You're with all these other great players and a great organization. And if you surround yourself with successful people, you have a chance to be a success yourself. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Right, Paulie?
We lost Paul.
That's right. I'm right here.
There he is.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard that rant, but that
was,
that's what it takes to be successful. And that's why, I had success because I play with the Cowboys. I could have signed with Green Bay or Pittsburgh, but Dallas was the best choice. Couldn't have worked out better for me.
It worked out great. Where can I get one of those hats, Drew?
You can get it at cowboylegends.com. But as soon as I see you next time, I'll get you one of these. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And then,
great.
We got to get these T-shirts to the crew so that we're wearing these during the show instead of those muscle shirts and stuff.
That's right.
I need one of those.
The real name of those shirts, they're wife beaters.
Wife? Oh no,
they're wife beaters.
Yeah, that's the incorrect terminology right in 2020.
Well, hopefully we'll have some.
Right.
Hopefully
that's what they were called back in the day. And it's okay to call them that back in the day because it wouldn't insinuate anything but the type of shirt and the way you look in that shirt. So, all right, I'm trying to back on that one.
Well, hopefully you'll have some Hall of Fame stuff to add to Cowboys Legends here after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I hope so. Real soon. Somebody sent me I got 2 of these already, and somebody sent me a Hall of Fame mask.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I refuse to wear this until
the time is right. But
you know what? Time is right, so I'll keep that.
Drew is the Super Bowl ring. You got to remind them. Look at that.
I'll keep that clean until the time. But also, people are now sending me stuff in the mail with Hall of Fame helmets, mini helmets, and footballs and stuff like that. Are we okay?
Yes.
It's getting dark in here. I need some light. Yeah, sending me stuff in the mail, but I send it right back. Because first of all, they don't send enough money for me to sign it. And second of all, I'm not signing anything. I'm not jinxing this situation. February 6th, I'll know. February 7th. Put the stuff in the mail. You'll get it back by February 9th. Hood.
That's great.
But for a small fee, right, Paul?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Yes,
got to
sir.
have a small fee involved.
Makes sense.
So, anyway,
We've got Bill Marshall here.
Get
Bill
some luck.
Marshall.
All right, we're going to break, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. Are we wrapping now?
No, we got Bill Marshall here.
Okay, we'll be
Zoom
right
in.
back after this.
Okay.
CowboyLegends.com. Check it out. Hood. All right, David Gates said we can go because he counted it down with the final wrap of the show. But before we do that, this show you can zoom in and get on camera and on Zoom and ask the original 88 a question, or you might have a comment about the game. You feel frustrated about something, or you like what you saw, or whatever. But we'll give you information on how to do that. But first, we got to get to Bill Marshall, because he's already zoomed in. And there he is. What's up, Big Bill Marshall?
What do you say, brother? Y'all doing all right?
We're still here, Bill. God bless us, and God bless you. What'd you think of that game today, Bill?
It was great till about the last few minutes. But, I'm sitting there going, okay, here we go. Another win by 1 point. But, God almighty, that Russell Wilson is stout. Just can't take anything away from that man. Drive down like they did and score. And unfortunately, we lost. And, okay, Gerald, I'll take the rope back. I was hoping you were going to be wrong, but
Your girl's never wrong.
Yeah, great game.
Unfortunately.
So true. Hey, Drew, I wanted to ask you this last week, and first of all, thank y'all, Michael and all the crew, for having me on again. I really appreciate it. One thing
Yes.
I was thinking about was when these guys on let's just call it on your team, they create a penalty, whether it's a holding or whatever, that brings back a long scoring play. Is there any crap talk in the huddle, or is that waited till later on the sideline, or does the coaches do that? Or I always wondered about that. Teammates going to give you a hard time if you screw up, or how's that work?
Sometimes if you mess up, like drop a pass or fumble the football, your teammates are pretty respectful of you coming to the sideline. Where they going to jump on you in any kind of situation, where it might be a situation on defense where you blow an assignment. You're not supposed to be where you're supposed to be. So you get to the bench, and if the defensive coach doesn't get on you, the captain or somebody else on that defense will get on you and say, hey, come on, you didn't study that this week? Something like that. Leroy Jordan, he was like that with our team. He's a coach on the field. Charlie Waters, Cliff Harris, those guys, if you messed up, they'd get on you. They'd let you know. And the reason they do that, not to make you feel bad, the reason they do that is because they don't want you to mess up again. They hope you got it this time, next time you see that same situation.
Right.
But in the pros, you really don't get into another player's grill, if they mess up. Like if somebody drops a pass going away, you feel bad for that guy more so than want to jump on him. So you encourage him. You say, great route. Let's get to the next one. That type of thing. It's more of an encouraging type atmosphere on the sideline, Bill, as opposed to a negative situation.
Right.
Now, the players get heated out there, no question, and they say things that the camera never picks up. Of course, when you're watching the game on TV, you never see the sidelines anyway. Okay, they never hardly show any sideline shots, and if there is a sideline shot, it's a close-up. So you don't know what kind of interaction is going on there on the sideline and how players react when a player comes off the field after getting called for a pass interference on a third down when the defense knew they were about to get off the field. So you never know unless you go to the games nowadays to see that, because TV doesn't show that. It's really difficult for people that want to see more of the action, more of the what's going on that's associated with the game than having the TV dictate to you what you're going to see. How many times you're seeing close-ups until even Gallup's 50-some yard pass down the sideline, they missed part of that play because they were in a commercial.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I think I had to catch it on the replay.
Right. I'm listening to Brad Sham on the radio, and he's calling, and Gallup's down the sideline, and I'm watching a Geico commercial.
Good Lord. Oh, that's great.
Anyway, that's my pet peeve for the evening is that TV is watching the NFL game is hard. A lot easier to watch basketball. That's what I'm doing now. And by the way, Miami's up 53-48 with 4:11 left in the second quarter. And, Miami's leading that series 3-2. So that's something to do after we get off. And don't forget, Sunday night football, you got the Saints and the Packers. That'll be a good one. And then Monday night football, the two young quarterbacks in the league dueling it out. Let's see if it's a matchup like Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott, and see if these two guys play that much factor in the outcome of the game. So you got Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City and your boy out in Baltimore. I'm drawing the blank. What's his name?
Oh, the guy that was on earlier?
Pardon me?
The guy that was on earlier on the show?
Lamar.
Yeah, I know. I know. I just want to see if y'all know. That's the guy that Bill Polian, the Hall of Famer, back in his day as a contributor, whatever. How can he be in the Hall of Fame and Cliff Murchison's not as a contributor? But anyway, this is Bill Polian when he was on ESPN. He says Lamar Jackson needs to be a wide receiver, and he becomes the MVP of the league. So, Gerald, what's your final thoughts so we can get out of here? Bill Marshall, thank you for tuning in again, man.
Thank you, Bill.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
God bless you, brother. Stay safe. We'll see you next week, okay?
Appreciate you guys. We'll see you then.
All right.
Early kickoff next week.
Yes, sir. See y'all. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Billy. Be safe, brother.
Bye, buddy.
All right, Gerald, let's wrap it up with you. What do you got, bro?
I'm happy that, with the current coaching staff, we were competitive all the way to the last play. I don't think with Garrett, his clock management skills, I think we would have been out of it 10 minutes prior to the game ending. I think the coaching staff kept us in it. So I'm looking forward to next week. Sidebar, Rayfield Wright and I, we were feeding around 6,000 folks for Thanksgiving the week before. So if you know anyone that's struggling for meals or whatever, any of the staff members can get a hold of me, and we will make sure that their Thanksgiving holidays are taken care of.
No, that's nice. That's cool. That's Big Cat Rayfield Wright, NFL Hall of Famer, former Dallas Cowboy. big number 70. He was the reason I was able to get downfield to run those deep routes as slow as I was and still have the quarterback standing straight up to wait for me to get down there and throw me the ball. But Big Cat was the man. What a pleasure to play with him. You know, I had a lot of great teammates that I played with, but, you know, some stand out more so than the others because of the way they handle the game and the way they approach the game and how they handled themselves as professionals. And Rayfield Wright was one of those guys for sure. We got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show. I'm going to call him, get in touch with him this week, see what he's up to. See if we can
Drew, Jimmy Smith wanted to come on and be on with us. So I think next week we're going to have him on with us.
All right. Well, we'll get Rayfield. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Get Jimmy Smith too. But Jimmy Smith, former Cowboy. Then he went to Jacksonville.
He did.
But does he live around here now?
He did, but I think he's back in his hometown of in Mississippi, in Jackson. But he's also, you know, legendary with the Jaguars. But he's going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Jaguar Hall of Fame. Where you go, Paul? Come back. I want to hear that.
He's already talking about another team and it cut off.
Yeah. You do that on purpose, right, Nas?
Well, we can have one up Rayfield and Jimmy, one for post game, one for pregame. So we got room for everybody.
Yeah.
Rayfield every week.
Let's find out what Jimmy's doing now and what he thinks about the Cowboys, the receiving core. We had 2 guys go over 100 today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but CeeDee Lamb didn't get much action in the second half. No. They were using Cedric Wilson more so than CeeDee Lamb in the second half. But CeeDee Lamb still had 6 balls, passes thrown to him. Cooper had 12 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Gallup had 9. Wilson had 7. You know how long it would take me to get six targets in a game back in the day? that could almost be 3 games. That's going to be at least 2 games, but it could almost be 3 games. And if it is 3 games, you know the original number 80 was a little upset with that.
I think it needs to be like it was when you played, Drew, is in that situation we were there, the final 2-minute drive. Roger looked in the huddle and he didn't look at anybody else but you and said, "You ready to go?"
Yeah, there's no truth to the rumor. I was hoping and praying we'd be losing going into the final quarter, and especially the final 2 minutes, just so I can get some action out there. But Roger would look for me in those situations, and a lot of it because of the confidence not only he had, but Coach Landry and also the teammates, you know. And when you're able to do something to help your teammates win a game, something in a big way, you know, that's a great feeling. And what that does is make you want to do it again, do it over and over, and be that guy that the team can count on. But not just be the guy the team can count on, but the guy that the team knows they can count on you. And so that's the big thing about that, coming through in the clutch. I thought we were going to get a Hail Mary today at the end of that game, and didn't get it, unfortunately. So the guys are cleaning up, getting dressed, doing their little press conferences, and then they'll board that flight. Long flight, about 6 hours, 5-6 hours, maybe to get a tailwind going that way. 5-6 hours flying back in from Seattle.
Drew,
all right.
I was just saying this week that those press conferences must be the worst. Like, imagine just sitting up, like all of us who are in normal jobs, imagine screwing up a deal and then having to sit in front of people and being like, yeah, well, we were trying to make it happen, didn't happen. Like, can you imagine you're still sweating, you're still upset, you're still emotional about this, and yet you got to immediately have a reaction? That's tough.
Yeah, it is. And you don't want to do it, but it's policy. And if you're called, if a sports writer calls you, then you don't show up. The NFL finds out about that, then you get fined for not showing up. So yeah, it's difficult. You know, when I first started in the league, all the reporters after the game, after the coach would talk to you and talk about the game, everybody the reporters would just come into the locker room, you know, and then more and more women reporters became involved in the game, and then they changed it to the interview room. And Coach Land used to make us go to if we were requested for an interview, to go to that interview room before we showered or did anything. And so guys were going over there in their, you know, wet T-shirts and stuff like that. And they eventually gave us robes, okay? White robes to put, no emblem on or nothing. They probably got a deal from Walmart on them. And that's what we wore in the interview room. We did that for a few minutes. But yeah, there's some times when, you know, you didn't want to say nothing or you had nothing good to say. You know, you don't want to do the interview. So, but you got to be a professional. You suck it up, you do it. It's part of the deal. And then you get past it. And then you go back feeling bad or feeling glad or feeling sad, whatever you're going to do. All right. Nas, where is Nasty?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Give us some information how people can zoom in, because you can become part of the show, and we're giving away T-shirts. You got some other Cowboy Legends merchandise there, you know, that we're giving to people that zoom in and ask a question and stuff like that. We're trying to build an audience here, and hopefully, you know, as we go, you know, last week we had more hits than the first week, and hopefully this week we'll have more hits than last week, and trying to build. So Nas, tell us how they can tune in and be part of the show.
Yes, guys, as most of y'all already watching know, we broadcast live pregame, halftime, and postgame. The email for the show is drewpearsonlive@outlook.com. And if you want to participate by Zoom, you know, possibly if you're an ex-Cowboy that's watching and want to participate in the Zoom, you send Drew a message or email there. And if you're interested in being a sponsor alongside cowboyslegends.com here, we have a lot of options in that area. And also this week, anybody that shares this stream, make sure you like the page, Drew Pearson Live, and like the page and share this stream. I'm going to pull up the shares probably Wednesday, because a lot of people watch throughout the week, and we'll pick one person and we'll get them. I got a ton of autographed Drew stuff around here, but we'll get them something like this. So share the stream, and we'll go through the shares and pick one name at random sometime this week and message personally. And like I said, again, Drew Pearson Live, outlook.com for sponsorships, to appear on the show via Zoom, ask Drew your questions, or any other inquiries.
That's right. You know, in tailgating, you know, is a little different nowadays, but this would be a cool way to tailgate, because everybody can latch on to the Zoom. You can do a mosaic out there and tailgate that way, connect with people, different parts of the country, family members, friends, and stuff like that. They'll be watching the game with y'all. So anyway, that's how we do it. That's how you get in touch with and be part of the show. So Jen Nickerson, she's at a wedding, not her wedding. But she's there. We appreciate her coming on and bringing her Hail Mary hero. We appreciate Jen Reed being with us as well. D. Paul, Darren, thank you for being part of the show. Thanks for bringing the music and different aspect to a pre, halftime, and post-game show. There's no question about that. Appreciate that. Who else we got? Paul Salpin.
That's right. Hello.
Let me before we get to you, Paul, let me say thanks to Gerald. Gerald, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Gerald.
Problem.
We appreciate you being part of the show. Thank you. All right. And then Paul, thank you as well. What do you got to close it up with me, Paul? Did I get everybody other than David Gates and Michael Nash Media and David Gates for the production? We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I think we did. It was an exciting game today, even if it didn't turn out the way we wanted to. But next week, of course, we'll be back. And we've got more special guests with us, and it's exciting. This is the great part about Drew Pearson Live, especially on Zoom right now. Anyone could join us, and they will.
All right. Well, you can only get it on Drew Pearson Live. No pregame, no halftime, no postgame show is like it out there. It's an original, just like the original number 88. All right. everybody tuning out. We'll
Yep.
see you next
Thank you,
week.
sir.
Everybody have a great week. It's always tough when the Cowboys lose. Not too many people around town be smiling. But one thing about football, one thing about sports, there's always another game.
That's
Let's
right.
play next week. Cleveland Browns coming to town. All right, we'll talk to you all later. Thanks for being part of the show. God bless. Be safe. Hail Mary blessings all around.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hud,
Wally.
Hud.